And the early warning systems, there are different possibilities. Particularly speaking about the German situation, it's an interesting insight, and it is probably an evidence proof for the powerfulness of the stigma of insolvency, but also for the powerfulness of the traditional understanding. We in Germany, as you might know, we have introduced a new insolvency law something like 20 years ago, where we made an enormous shift from a purely liquidation-oriented bankruptcy code, Konkursordnung, to a new approach, the insolvency ordinance, which has not only liquidation but also reorganization by means of a planned proceeding, which is sort of Chapter 11 proceeding. So in the wake of this introduction of this new law, we have introduced something for which we were hailed. We have abolished the privileges. So unlike, for instance, the Italian system, unlike the other systems where you have many or less many privileges, Luciano, where we have abolished all privileges. One of the reasons of abolishing particularly the most prominent and probably the most traditional privilege that you find almost everywhere all over the world is the so-called prince penny. That is the tax priority. The prince penny, incidentally, is a quotation. That's really the official wording of a statute of the city of Freiburg in southern Germany. They have a wonderful town charter from 1420 something by Ulrich Zasius, and he is addressing the prince penny, Prinzenpfennig. So that is the tax privilege. So it's time-honored. We have abolished this privilege. I think we followed the Austrian example. They were first. And the reason was, or the afterthought of that was to have this equality, this par conditio creditorum, as an early warning system. The mechanism that was hoped for is that since debtors usually stop first paying the taxes, that you get the tax authorities to file for bankruptcy. So intellectually speaking, it's a good mechanism. You deprive them of a privilege, and in the Italian report, I think it's Chapter 5, it's nicely written how unreliable the tax authorities in Italy are, because they are certain that they will receive full payment because they have the privilege that they have. And in order to cut this down and to kick this out, we deprive the tax authorities from the privilege.